Hey folks, it's James. Welcome back. And I cut my own hair. Hey folks, welcome back. Remember how when you take a walk and your spouse is maybe significantly taller than yourself, such as mine is, big long legs, big long stretches, and at some point you've noticed that they have left you kind of in the dust, and you have to play catch up, and it kind of takes the wind out of you because you got little short stumpy legs like I do. Well, that's kind of what we're going to do today, except we're going to do it with the ARIA Pro II guitar. This was the first guitar that I got that I decided to take all the way down to its component parts, all the way down to wood, and start over again, because it was a hot mess of pink and sparkly unicorn purples. And it actually kind of smelled like hairspray when I first got it. So we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. We're going to show you the disassembly, cleaning, stripping, all that kind of fun stuff. And bring you up to speed so that everything from this point on, you'll kind of know what's going on. So hope you've got your nice warm beverage. I hope you've had your bacon for the day. And big shout out today goes to my friends down at the Pima Air and Space Museum in Tucson, Arizona. It's a great place to visit. I loved working there, and I miss all of you guys. So I think I'm gonna cry now. I feel much better. I had some bacon. So here we are, the ARIA Pro II Magna series, probably the MA550, most likely made in Korea. They were really kind of bad about keeping records on that kind of stuff. This is your OEM wiring job with the horrible plastic selector switch, and it was just dirty like a dirty thing. This is the license-built Floyd Rose system made by Takeuchi in Japan. Some reference photos just for intonation, although we're going to set it up the way it gets set up. Came apart pretty easy, as most things do. Putting it back together is usually the hard part. You can kind of see the pink strawberry crunch dusting that went on it. This was the only coat of color on the guitar, which makes things a little bit easier. The frets are nice and clean. The fingerboard is nice and clean. You can see some wear there in the first position, but then this is the 80s and the 90s, and you never really got that much out of there. Again, the strawberry crunch sparkle pink unicorn color on it. When you take a bolt-on neck off, this is kind of what it looks like. This is nice and clean. This is the truss rod cavity, nice and clean. The Floyd Rose mounting area, nice and clean. Reference photo that we use for decal recreation, you'll see that a little bit later. Looks like conductive paint on the inside of the cavity. It wasn't conducting, so we're not going to worry about that. Just a little bit of surface damage, a buttonhole kind of punch up on the top of the body, another one back by the strap block. Came with 2 single coils and a humbucker. Just dual controls. There was a push-pull knob on the top, probably used for a coil tap. We'll rewire that back like that. A little discoloration on the surface, but it didn't really matter because, well, now all the surface paint is gone. She had a sealer coat, and then she had a silver primer, and then covered with the purple ugly all over. Lots of fun getting the paint out of all of those nooks and crannies and pickup cavities. Random orbit sander, 150 grit sandpaper for most of this. Came off pretty easy on the back porch. This part, not so much fun because you can't get a sander in there, at least the ones that I've got. This is the Floyd Rose disassembled. Let's talk about this for just a second. If you've got a Floyd Rose whammy, don't adjust the string height while it's under tension. That nice little knife edge is going to gouge out your mounting studs, and it will never stay in tune after that. These are the stair-stepped blocks for the string locks. You can see the saddles are also replicating that curve. This is the zinc sustain block. We're going to replace that. This is a code we found on the inside of the guitar. I don't know what it means. ARIA doesn't know what it means, so they're just nebulous numbers. More sanding, more sanding, more sanding. Some of it done on the back porch, some of it done in the living room when my wife was at work and not looking. Now we're all cleaned off, kind of ready to go. Hey, sumo match. I'm pretty sure the big guy won. This is the sustain block that we're getting from Killer Guitar Components. They also make a replacement arm for the TRS 101 Floyd Rose system. It's a nice hefty piece of brass, and I cannot wait to see how the sustain works on that. It mounts up beautifully. It's got a nice polished mirror finish on the bottom. This is a test fitting, trying to see how everything fits together. This is the stock springs and claw. Not quite sure if that's going to stay like that or not. The wood on it doesn't really have any nice figuring on it, so it's getting painted. Automotive primer is going on to it. Sanding by some high-tech sanding blocks. That's my eraser. That's my high-tech painting booth on the back porch of my cell block there in Tokyo. This is the Angry Coconut, because the Angry Coconut knows I don't read Japanese. And after consulting with the person in the automotive paint department using various software devices, I was assured that this was actually white. It's not. There are no returns in Japan, so we've got 2 cans of silver paint going down as a base coat, because that's just what there is. Eventually, we got the white color correctly going on to it. Again, high-tech booth there in Japan. Here it is next to the PV Patriot, also known as the Digicamo guitar. We'll see that one a little later. High-tech sanding block again. 3 passes done, about 5 minutes apart. Let it sit for 3 hours. Do it again 3 times a day, and you just build it up and build it up and build it up. Here they are hanging from the air conditioning vent in my cell block there. Came with the orange peel, which is not unexpected at all. Polished out quite nicely in between some coats, because painting outside we get things like, well, bugs, small birds into the paint. Here I am recreating my decals in Photoshop after I cleared the headstock, let that sit a couple of weeks, flat sanded it out with my Japanese car care products. Got a pretty nice luster out of it for being hand sanded. Here's my decals going onto it, and then disaster strikes as the guitar gets knocked off and bounces down the brown banister of my staircase. Luckily it was able to polish out, and not too bad a repair job. Nice color of luster there. I go to spray the clear on, and now we're in panic mode alpha. I have these kind of furrows on the headstock after the first coat of clear, so I summoned my Gundam powers, and through some consultation on the interwebs was told just to keep right on clearing it. It should be okay, and it was. We put another 12 coats of clear on it, polished it out, wet sanded it, polished. Looks actually pretty nice for a first time effort. Here is the neck Floyd Rose locking nut going back on it, and now the neck for the most part is complete and ready to go, and the strip of bacon, very happy about it. We've now moved from Japan to California. The clear coat has had a nice long time to cure. I don't have any problem with it being soft or uncured at all. So we do the wet sanding, then we start to do the polishing. Polishing goes without event. 3000 is the first one I start with, and it foams up quite nicely. And then the next thing you know, you're on your 7500, and then the next thing you know, you're done. And she's sitting there all dressed up, nowhere to go. But she's got graphics to come. So everywhere that the graphics are going to go, it has to be sanded back down so that the paints will have something to adhere to, and you are now caught up. And there you have it. You're all caught up. Currently I've got the guitars taped off on the side, because up here is where my paint's going to go. The Sakura Blossom is going to go here. The writing is going to go up on the upper horn. Paint's on the way, should be here soon. Frisket tape is here. So we're all ready to start putting graphics on, and we'll start doing that in the next couple of days. So good job. Oops, it didn't do it. We'll have to do it again. Cut. So you're all caught up, and off we go. And this sucks. Cut. Are you even paying attention? You're not even watching. What? Over here. Over here. Here. Button. Cut. Are you even? What? Cut. Cut. Because this is where the Sakura Blossom is going to go on to. The writing's going to go on the upper horn there, and we have to have something for the paint to crack. Cut. I smell lacquer. Jameson loves you. Bye bye.